Get ready for news straight from the track. We have a lot to talk about today. Red Bull is feeling the heat of competition with Mercedes and McLaren coming in strong. And Ferrari? Will they be able to bounce back? But wait, there's more. Aston Martin is making some interesting moves behind the scenes, and the driver market is going crazy for 2025. Join me as we take a full lap around the F1 paddock today. And before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest in the world of speed. Let's go. The green light is on. Red Bull guys is in an interesting situation. They started the season flying high as usual, right? But now it looks like the other teams are catching up. Here's the deal. The latest updates they've brought to the car since May aren't working as expected. It's that old story, sometimes more isn't better. It can complicate things. Helmut Marko, the Red Bull advisor who doesn't mince words, is already putting pressure on. He said that the updates they're bringing to Hungary have to work. Can you smell the scent of concern in the air? The team is feeling the hot breath of McLaren and Mercedes on their necks. And Max Verstappen? Well, he's just chilling, as usual. The guy says he's enjoying the tighter competition. According to him, everyone was waiting for this. But is he really relaxed or just putting on a show? We know Max is super competitive. The crazy thing is that Red Bull is still comfortably leading the championships. But the lead that seemed huge at the start of the year is shrinking. And with the new regulations coming in 2026, the pressure is only increasing. They're developing their own engine for the first time, a decision that even the late team founder Dietrich Mateschitz was worried about initially. So, folks, the question is, can Red Bull maintain the lead, or are we going to see an epic comeback this season? The championship is heating up, and this is just the beginning. Now let's talk about the teams that are turning up the heat, Mercedes and McLaren. These two are coming in strong, huh? Let's start with Mercedes. Who would have thought that after a somewhat lukewarm start to the season, they'd win a race, right? Well, it happened. Lewis Hamilton showed why he's a 7-time champion at Silverstone. The team seems to have finally nailed something with the car, and people were starting to doubt it. But the real surprise of the season? McLaren, folks, these guys are flying. Since the updates they brought in Miami, they've turned the game around. The car is doing well in high, medium, and low-speed corners. It's like a Swiss Army knife on wheels. Lando Norris is driving like there's no tomorrow. He's already been right on Verstappen's tail a few times, showing that McLaren isn't messing around. And it's not just talk, you know? Zak Brown, CEO of McLaren, is already talking about competing for the Constructors' title. Ambition is something this team doesn't lack. The craziest thing is that the fight for second place in the championship is tight. Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, they're all right there, neck and neck. And with Red Bull showing some weaknesses, who knows what could happen, right? We're seeing something we haven't seen in F1 for a while, unpredictability. Every race is a surprise. One moment McLaren is closing in, the next Mercedes is taking the victory. This is excitement, my friends. Will Mercedes return to the old days of dominance, or will McLaren surprise everyone and fight for the title? And Ferrari? Well, the Italian team is in a tricky situation, you know? After starting the season with a bang, winning in Australia and Monaco, it seems the horse has stalled. The folks in Maranello are scratching their heads trying to figure out what's going on. The updates they brought to the car in Spain? Well, let's say they didn't work out very well. Fred Vasseur, the team principal, even said it was more of a downgrade than an upgrade. You can feel the frustration, right? And Ferrari is facing quite the dilemma. They're at a crossroads. Use the new parts or go back to the old car. It's like that saying, better the devil you know than the one you don't. You know? They'll have to make a crucial decision for the Hungarian GP. But it's not just the car giving them headaches. Ferrari's strategies are also driving everyone crazy. Remember the race in Silverstone? Well, they sent Leclerc out on intermediate tires at the worst possible time. It was like sending someone to the beach on a rainy day. It didn't work out very well. And speaking of Leclerc, the guy is in a tricky spot. It seems his relationship with the new race engineer isn't great. It's like they're speaking different languages, you know? This is affecting decisions during the races, and we know in F1 every second counts. But not all is lost for Ferrari. They still have a fast car when everything works right. The problem is that this when is becoming increasingly rare. They're putting all their chips on the Hungarian GP to turn things around. Will it happen? Now let's talk about the rest of the grid. Because look, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. First, Aston Martin is making some interesting moves. They just hired Andy Cowell as the new CEO. For those who don't know, this guy is the genius behind the Mercedes engines that dominated F1 for years. It's like hiring Neymar for your local soccer team, get it? They're playing hardball, and it doesn't stop there. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll have extended their contracts until 2026. This shows that the team is thinking long-term. Alonso may be 42, but he's driving like he's 22. And Stroll? Well, he's got the right last name, doesn't he? And look, the driver market for 2025 is crazy. Carlos Sainz from Ferrari is playing chess with everyone. The guy is making everyone wait for his decision. Will he go to Alpine, Williams, or does he have an ace up his sleeve? Speaking of Alpine, they're eyeing Zhou Guanyu. The Chinese driver is in a tough spot at Sauber and could be an interesting option for the French team. But does he have what it takes to take Alpine to the next level? And Williams? Well, they're looking at Valtteri Bottas. It seems the Finnish driver might return to the team where he started his F1 career. Will it happen? The craziest thing is that there's still a lot to happen this season. The teams are racing against time to develop their cars for next year, but at the same time, they have to keep an eye on the new rules coming in 2026. So the question is, who will make the right move in the driver market? And which team will make the leap in quality to compete at the front in 2025? The game is open and promises many twists. We're seeing one of the most unpredictable seasons in recent years. Red Bull, which seemed unbeatable, is starting to feel the pressure. Their updates aren't working as expected, and Verstappen, as talented as he is having to sweat it out in every race. And look who's coming in strong, Mercedes and McLaren. Who would have thought that after a tough start to the season, these two teams would be fighting for victories? What we're seeing is a true development war. Every team is racing against time to bring updates, to find that tenth of a second that can make all the difference. And you know what's crazier? We still have half the season ahead of us. Imagine how many twists and turns can still happen. Who will be the next to take a step forward? Who will stumble? The battle for the Constructors' title is tighter than ever. And the Drivers' Championship? Well, Verstappen is still in the lead, but will he be able to hold on until the end? One thing is for sure. The 2024 Formula One season is proving that anything can happen. We're seeing history being made with every race. And who knows what else this crazy season has in store for us? That's it, folks. Who would have thought that after years of dominance, we'd see so much competition like this? But you know what's more incredible? This is just the beginning. We still have half the season ahead of us, and judging by the sound of the engines, a lot can still change. What we're seeing here is Formula One at its best, unpredictable, thrilling, and full of twists and turns. Every race is a different story. Every lap is a surprise. That's what makes us love this sport so much. And you? What do you think? Who will come out on top in this epic battle? Leave your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to give that like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any detail of this crazy season. See you next time, folks, and may the best one win.